Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
It's hump day. How could I be anything but good? I mean, it's awesome. We're going to have a heck of a day. It is the 16th of November, and I got a guest today, Dr. Cass Ingram, Cures in the Cupboard. Going to talk about some common cures that you can find maybe right there in your own house. That's good stuff.
I have one.
What's that?
That apple cider vinegar.
Oh.
We can talk about it when we get to that break.
Okay, well, you usually don't join me for the break, so we'll see. Coming up here in a bit, though, we've got Dr. Cass Ingram. How legitimate is a Nobel Prize?
Not at all.
Well, think about this. Just so
it
you know. It
has not been legitimate for years.
Well, Hitler was nominated for
Yeah.
And so was Stalin. They were both nominated for Nobel Peace Prizes. So that kind of tells you everything you need to know. Hey, the International Police Organization Interpol said there have been worldwide surges in car theft, with one vehicle being stolen right now every 10 seconds.
Really?
Yeah. Where did I park? Just kidding.
These anti-theft devices aren't really doing a whole lot to change
not.
things.
No, apparently not. Coming up, got some special stuff happening today. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, November the 16th. We are already halfway through the month of November. How'd that happen? Every
It's
month,
just baffling
I'm just
to me that I blink and like another 3 months has already gone by.
It's nuts. Anyway, today is International Day for Tolerance. It is National Button Day, and it is National Educational Support Professionals Day. So none of those seem like fun stuff that you get to celebrate. So I'm going to also say that today is National Eat Chocolate While You Can Day. What the heck? I mean, I'm going to just make up my own stuff. I think somebody else made all these things up anyway.
You look so funny.
Why?
You've got a sore neck.
Oh.
And so you're trying to talk to me, and you
have to
kind of
move
look
my whole
like
body.
a T-Rex.
Do I look like a Muppet? I feel like a puppet right now. Like my arms are just dangling here. Anyway, coming up in a minute when she's done ridiculing me for having a sore neck, going to get to some other fun stuff on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Would you like to lose weight? You could wait till New Year's to make a resolution, but most people that do that are done with them in a few weeks. No, they don't hit their goal. They just give up. If you struggle to keep your weight where you'd like it, maybe you should consider hypnosis. Many people have amazing results with hypnosis, and it's not as expensive as you think. We have a special weight loss hypnosis program for just $60 at radiosavings.com. Hypnosis can help reduce the cravings that cause you to overeat. Learn more about this special hypnosis weight loss system from Extreme Power Hypnosis at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Man looking for a way to get out of walking around the malls and shops with your wife this holiday season? Maybe you hire a substitute husband.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not a big fan of shopping. That's not my thing. But there are some people out there that actually do this. They get, instead of carrying the bags around and looking like a numbskull, you can actually hire, what did I call it again?
A substitute
That's
husband.
the thing. There you go.
That's the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard.
It's happening in Scotland, but a Scottish retailer is providing surrogate husbands and boyfriends to walk around with female customers at the shops. This is happening at the Braehead Shopping Centre in Glasgow, Scotland. They're testing the idea. Lets women drop off their shopping-hating husbands and borrow a fresh, new, shopping-friendly specimen for just a few hours. They call it the shopping boyfriend. And they describe your shopping partner as enthusiastic, attentive, admiring, and complimentary. He'll browse with the wife or the girlfriend for hours on end. He'll even say she looks thin in that dress. So what do husbands do while their no, let's not say that. While their wives.
Soon to be ex.
What that was kind of a Freudian slip right there.
Yeah, it was.
So what do the husbands do while their wives and girlfriends go shopping? The company says the men can relax and play video games or read a selection of magazines, and then they'll get picked back up when the shopping trip is done. So you literally check your husband into almost like a
that is the most
husband
ridiculous
daycare
thing I have ever heard in my life.
And then some dude that's going to encourage them to buy more stuff is going to go out with you and like, oh no, that looks great on you. You know what you should get? You should get a purse with that.
You should get one in every color because that looks so amazing on you.
You don't have any shoes like these, do you? You need some of these shoes. This retailer is an absolute genius for doing this, though, because I don't like shopping. So I'm like, you go ahead. You take Billy and you guys go and buy some purses and stuff. I'm gonna sit here and read a magazine while you guys spend a ton of money. It's probably gonna go over really well. All I know is, it's true because it's happening right now in Scotland, and it's true because you heard it.
You know
on the
what I
radio.
think is the funniest thing about that whole thing?
What?
It says they don't want to look ridiculous walking around carrying all those bags and purses and stuff, because one thing we know about the Scottish men is they do not ever want to look ridiculous.
I'm going to sit here in my kilt. I don't want to carry bags. Anyway, it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. Gregory Walter went to court to deal with 2 criminal charges. By the end of his appearance, he had 3. Gregory Walter.
Did he take drugs?
Well, let me tell you what he did. Gregory Walter was in court on attempted burglary and drug possession charges when he was accused of trying to hide cocaine under the courtroom chair. Witnesses said he reached into his shirt pocket and realized he had something in there.
Oh, my goodness.
Then he tried to hide a small bag of white powder under a chair leg. Deputies retrieved the packet. It was tested positive for cocaine. Mr. Walter now has a new drug charge to add to his list.
What an
So
idiot.
He's got 3 charges from that little court. Here's the thing. If you were going to go to court, why don't you leave that stuff at home? How many times have we read stories?
I know.
And it's not the same story. I'm accused of that once in a while. But there's numerous, because there was one guy that had joints that he went in and had, regular cigarettes, but inside with those he had marijuana cigarettes too. He got arrested. It never ends well. So just don't do that. That's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. A Florida man succeeded in ending his problem of pale skin by buying a new tanning lamp. The lamp did its job. Not only did his skin change color, but so did his clothing. They began turning brown and smoldering. When he tried to put out the flames, he caught himself on fire.
Goodness.
The fire quickly spread throughout the man's apartment and throughout the apartment complex, which was soon transformed from a pale tone to a deep, rich black.
How long was he sitting under that lamp?
I don't know. Mr. Tan was treated for burns at the scene. Here's my question. This tanning lamp that he had, did he put that in his living room light fixture, or what did he?
I don't.
I'm not
He
exactly
must have been
sure.
sitting under it forever if it set
No
his
idea.
clothes
I've
on
never
fire.
heard
You
of
don't
anyone do that before. But good news is we have a story coming up in our scoop of the day that ties right into this. It has to do with tanning and if it's good for you, if it's bad for you. It's actually fascinating. That is on the way during our scoop of the day. Later in the program, we've got a guest, Dr. Cass Ingram. We're going to be talking to him about cures in the cupboard. And we have some fun facts for you. That is all on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Just a bit ago, we talked about a dude in Florida that burned himself up in a tanning bed or a tanning lamp or whatever. So is tanning good for you?
Well,
Well,
it depends on what we're talking about. It depends on if it's natural rays from the real sun, because that can be very good for you because it's got healing powers.
Wow. How'd you know that?
Because I know that about
You know
the
this
sun.
because I study these things.
I know this because how do I know this? Because I study this. No, but
we just made our
tanning
son smile right there.
beds are not.
Here's what it is. Some scientists believe that vitamin D, which the body
sun.
creates from sunlight, can prevent cancer. But if you wear sunscreen, it's keeping people from getting enough vitamin D. So they're saying that now scientists are going, well, maybe you shouldn't put so much sunscreen on. Aren't they the same people that told us to put sunscreen on? I don't know if I trust scientists anymore. 2 out of 3 scientists don't even agree if there's really 3 scientists, so I don't know. They disagree that third one's really a scientist. Moving right back into this. A motorcyclist from New Jersey who fled New York State police, at speeds of 165 miles an hour, was arrested. You know why?
Why?
He had to stop for gas. 27-year-old woman was on track to become the youngest person ever to visit every country in the world. She's only 27, and she's on track right now to get to every single country in the world. How cool would that be? I wonder if they had to, how many countries are there?
I don't even know a total number of countries. We should probably research that.
Do you think that she would have to have like a bigger passport? Because there couldn't be enough room for stamps from every country in the world, could there?
Well, you have to replace your passport every, 7 years? She's 28.
She's 27,
So she started when she was, I don't know, 16, 17.
Sounds to me like this is just
she'd have to replace it.
A lofty goal that she's just recently had, but who knows? Coming up here, we've got another story that has something to do with nothing. Parents are now getting fines because their kids are not wearing bicycle helmets.
Are you kidding?
I don't understand that. This is quite a few parents in Orange County, Florida, got a ticket last month, not for speeding, not for running a red light, but because their child was not wearing a bicycle helmet. A number of parents were upset over the tickets. The $62.50 fine.
Oh my gosh.
In Florida, it is illegal for a child younger than 16 to ride a bicycle without a helmet. So I can understand how important that is, but that's where you don't just send them a ticket. Wouldn't you just stop and say, hey, you need to wear helmets, otherwise you can't ride the bike? I could see doing something like that, but they're giving them a $62 ticket. When I was
and where
a kid,
does $62 come from?
$62.50. I have no clue. I don't make these things up. I literally just read what's on the page.
That would infuriate me.
Hey, wacky but true, probably worst counterfeiter ever. It just amazes me how dumb some people can be. This happened in Wisconsin. A woman tried to get gasoline at a gas station. She came in with a $20 bill. I guess she wasn't even getting gas. She was buying cigarettes. Need some smokes. Well, the bill didn't quite look right. So the lady asked for ID. At that time, the clerk said, see the back side of this bill where there's nothing on it? That doesn't seem right. So she said, well, here, let me run out to the car. I got some more money in the car. And she ran out to the car and took off. The clerk jotted down her driver's license info.
Oh, my goodness.
And called the police. So, yeah, she was making photocopies of $20 bills, but she forgot to flip it over and copy the other side. So it's not a good idea to do even one side. It's a terrible idea to do both sides, but it's even a dumber idea to only do one side. There you go.
Wow.
That didn't quite work out. Can I just redo this whole scoop of the day? Can I get a do-over?
No. It's too late.
Well, and the last thing on the list here. A couple of inmates in the UK escaped prison. When officers were doing their nightly checks, they discovered 2 pillows that were stuffed in the beds to look like prisoners' bodies in the bed. Wasn't that from a movie? I'm almost positive.
Yeah, it was from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. That's what Ferris Bueller did.
Well, it worked for these guys. A couple guys got out of prison, so sounds like a plot to a movie to me. This has been your Scoop of the Day.
John and Heidi.
We just wrapped up one of the most contentious elections in the history of our nation. Some are excited about the outcome, others not so excited. We want to remind you that we're still one nation, under God, indivisible. We've made it through many things, and we'll make it through this too. Let's do it together. At PoliticalStorm.com, we've been covering this election from both sides, and we want to thank the many contributors that have helped make that possible. We also invite you to become a contributor too with a free blog. Let's share all of the reasons to come together and unify as a nation. Share your voice at PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. We've got a special guest joining us right now. This time of year, we have a lot of people with colds and flus, and it's more and more common this time of year. And wouldn't it be great if there was some sort of cure for that? Well, we've got a guest, Dr. Cass Ingram, and he's got a book called The Cure is in the Cupboard. And there's some awesome ideas on ways that you can actually get rid of some of those symptoms that you're having. So first of all, let's say hello to Dr. Cass Ingram. How are you?
I'm doing great, but thanks to all the natural cures, I've surrounded myself throughout this house. So, and your listeners need to do it too, because it's that season where you can get knocked down. Cold and flu is not as minor as it might seem. Flu can be fatal in the elderly. The flu and cold can hit you hard, hit you double hard, and knock down your immune system and then weaken you. It's better to just prevent it, not get it. And if you did get it, to use something natural. There's no drugs. So that's what it's all about. That's what the Cure in the Cupboard talks about.
There are people that say there is no cure for the common cold, but you say there kind of is a cure for the common cold, and it's a natural cure.
Definitely. The big cannon. Now, I know honey's good and vinegar's pretty good and lemon juice is an antiseptic and all, but the big cannon is wild oregano.
Nice.
It's a hammer.
So now I have oregano in my cupboard right now, the kind of stuff we put like in spaghetti and when we're cooking and things like that. Is that what you're talking about, or it's not quite that?
Well, there's some wild oregano in it, but did you know that that's cut like 70%, 80% with weeds? Now, not that kind of weed, people, but they grind this stuff up. You see, you have to go to the mountaintop to get the wild oregano. Did you see it growing in the Mediterranean? And when you were there, and it's rare. It's got to be dried, and then they grind it up. But they usually grind it with 80% other like grass and sumac leaves and things.
Oh wow.
So then the FDA irradiates it. So you really need the extract. See, I'm lazy. I don't want to make an oregano tea. I don't think I'd enjoy it too much. So I take the oil of oregano. You see?
Yeah.
I buy the edible daily use. The original stuff is known as T73 in the marketplace. You can find it at the Ma and Pa store or the vitamin shop. T73 oregano. I take it everywhere I go. I don't travel without it. I don't have time. I don't have time to get sinus, bronchitis. I don't have time to get congestion. I'm on the radio like you, and I'm not interested in experimenting with a cold or flu.
Oil of oregano, and that'll help fight off all the germs that come my way this time of year.
Well, we did that study and published it in Vitamin in Antiviral Research. And when we presented the findings, the drug company representatives, their mouths literally fell open.
Wow.
Because there's no drug. And what we found was that when you take cell culture and you inject it with flu virus or cold viruses, so you've got billions of viruses inside the cells. Now, we're not talking about a petri dish. They're in the cells.
Yeah.
Then we gave 0.01%, 1 in 1,000, 1 drop per 1,000 of water, of oil of wild oregano, T73. It obliterated the virus.
That's awesome.
And not only that, the virus wouldn't regrow. So what we found was that people like yourself that just take 5 drops every other day, and they don't even get the flu. Or, 5 drops a day, whatever.
Now, again, this is something I can find in my local health food store. It's oil of oregano. If I want to know more about this, I can read your book. And do you have other things in this book as well, other awesome cures in the cupboard?
Yes. Now, there's a lot of other stuff in the book, but also in the cupboard, So the book talks about raw honey, wild greens, garlic, but the emphasis is on this very unique Mediterranean high mountain 1001 use wild oregano, which nobody seems to know about. And yet it's mentioned in the Bible as the purging herb. Hyssop is from Aesop. Aesop is from Esoph. Esoph means oregano in Hebrew.
Oh, wow.
So, and so it's there. But, in the cupboard, even though the book doesn't detail all 10 spices, we can go and we can see cinnamon. We can see cloves. We can see coriander and cumin and turmeric and mustard. They're all medicinal. They just all have different uses. And think about the germicidal powers. How long could mustard stay out on the counter of the diner?
Yeah.
20 years? It still never gets any germs.
Exactly. I never really thought about that before. That's a great idea. And the cool thing is, this is stuff that, a lot of people probably have cinnamon in their home and honey in their home. And, they have oregano, maybe not oil of oregano, but maybe we should all have that in our home. The book is available right now. Where can we find a copy of your book, Dr. Ingram?
The bookstores are tough right now. I don't know what's going on there, but so you want to buy this book in the health food store. You go into your health food store and say, I want the cures in the cupboard, or online, my website. Why bother with anybody when you can talk to the publisher? CassIngram.com. We need to start supporting the little businesses.
Yeah.
CassIngram.com, the health food store. And what we found was when people went into the bookstore and tried to special order The Cures in the Cupboard, nothing's happening.
Yeah.
But you could buy it on Amazon too, of course,
Well, again, our guest today, Dr. Cass Ingram, and the book is called The Cure is in the Cupboard. A lot of great ideas in here, and just the one that we talked about here, I have to go find some oregano now. Now, what is it called? Oil of oregano?
What you do, you and your co-host, you should, buy, like if you went into the vitamin shop or a mom and pop health food store, and you get the P73 oil of oregano.
Yeah.
And then let's say you had a head cold. You take 5 drops every hour, every 2 hours under the tongue. It obliterates it, finished.
Wow.
Let's say you contracted a sinus or a bronchial or dry cough or congestion, even pneumonia. Hey, there was a woman scheduled to die in a hospice, but she was the mother of my dearest. So she gave her 2 drops. She's dying of pneumonia. 2 drops twice of the oil of oregano in a glass of water. 2 hours later, she pops up and says, "Can I have my food now?" She continued to live for another 2 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a very good germicide. You see, that's what people don't know. Now, if you want to concoct something in your home, then, you can get less effective honey and vinegar, honey and lemon, cinnamon and cloves. But I never found anything that would just wipe out colds and flu. It's the oil of oregano that does that. Now, it takes 10,000 pounds of oregano to make 50 pounds of oil.
Oh, wow.
So, whatever. And if you think of Ricola cough drops, they use something similar, oil of thyme, oil of sage,
Oh, I
into
didn't realize
cough
that.
drops. Yeah.
Well, now we know. That's awesome. Well, Dr. Cass Ingram, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us. It's always fun to visit. I always learn something. And I know one of the things that I'll be putting on my shopping list for today is oil of oregano.
Why not? And some raw honey, and get some lemons. You need the citrus. 1-800-243-5242. They're the wild oregano experts. 800-243-5242. Ask them about Wild Oregano Kit. Ask them about the book.
And we're going to send folks to your website as well, CassIngram.com.
That's it, CassIngram.com. Watch the videos, read the articles, become an expert on natural cures. I am.
There you go. Well, Dr. Ingram, have a great day. Thank you again.
You betcha.
Again, Dr. Cass Ingram, and the book is called The Cure is in the Cupboard, and I'll tell you what, there's a lot of great ideas in there. Again, his website, if you'd like to know more, is CassIngram.com.
John and Heidi.
Are you ready for Duel? Kyle Dowling on guitar, Brett Gunderson on bass, Sam DeVito on drums, and frontman Duel Shape.
Gotta keep rocking, gotta keep sucking, bringing it down like rain.
Duel's new single just hit iTunes and it's selling fast. Get your copy now.
You're locked in chains and you feel no pain. Supernova gonna get you too.
Their first single, Supernova, is available now for less than $1. Learn more and find a direct link to buy Supernova at facebook.com/duelrocks.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Did you know that Dr. Seuss wrote Green Eggs and Ham on a bet?
I do.
Yeah, I think I told you this before. His editor dared him to write a book using only 50 different words, and he pounded out a book called Green Eggs and Ham, one of my
And it
favorite
was
books
his,
ever.
I think his
I
bestseller,
think so
wasn't
too.
it?
Cat in the Hat was right up there as well, but Green Eggs and Ham, because it's just such a fun book.
It is a fun book.
And
I like that
funny
book.
thing is, I was reading an article one time that talked about the best sales book ever, and all the way through it was talking about the principles you learn from this book, and at the end you learn it's Green Eggs and Ham. Because he kept
love it.
asking for the order, and he kept asking them in different ways. Anyway, moving right along. Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Each year, more movies are produced in India than in Hollywood. Almost twice as many come from what they now call
I think you've said this before.
Bollywood, is what they call it now.
That's crazy.
Fun fact for you,
What's
Heidi.
that, John?
Let me look here. The first fictional detective was introduced by Edgar Allan Poe. Yeah.
Really?
In 1841 in a story called The Murder in Rue Morgue, whatever that is.
I've not read that one.
Nor have I. And our final fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Sherlock Holmes never, ever said elementary, my dear Watson. So we're always misquoting him when we're saying that. So There you go.
There's a lot of those, I think.
Misquotes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. A lot of famous misquotes out there. Because we're idiots, basically. That's kind of what the problem is. All right. Couple of fun facts for you right there on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This is the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. When you join, you'll be giving them the set of numbers that you want them to play, and that's what they will play for you. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, go to RadioLottoPool.com and join today. Again, that's RadioLottoPool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Do you wash your coffee mug at the office? Don't answer yet. If you do, you might want to reconsider. It says here, if you're washing your coffee mug at the office right now, you might want to quit doing that. You'd be better off never, ever washing your mug than you would be utilizing the office sponge. Officials now say it's fine to never wash your coffee mug as long as you're not sharing it with other people. Infectious disease expert Jeffrey Stark said the vast majority of germs in a coffee cup or mug come from the person who uses it. And if that's you, it's you. So even if you drink from it when you're sick, it's hard to reinfect yourself because you're already sick. Now, if you're sick and then you get better, you might want to scrub it up. But anyway, what they say is most viruses don't live long enough outside the body to really cause a big deal anyway.
All right. Well, that's what I was going to say. If you're sick and you get better,
Yeah.
your body has already defeated that virus. So
This is the interesting part of the article, though. This was posted in the Wall Street Journal. He said, if you leave your mug unwashed, it's probably safer than the alternative, cleaning it with that communal crusty sponge in the office kitchen. We've all seen those things. That sponge in the break room is most likely way older than you even realize it is, and it has probably the highest bacteria count of anything in your office. So don't use that crusty sponge. How many people are going to throw those away today and get different ones?
I
don't
use sponges. I don't like sponges because just the word sponge, what it literally means is soaks up everything. So everything it touches, it is going to absorb it.
What is this thing we have in our sink at home?
It's a wash rag. It's a disposable wash rag.
It is the coolest thing ever, though.
I know, isn't it? It's
I
so
love
great.
it.
I know.
You got that from Jen, right?
Yeah.
We got to find out.
I'm
going to
buy some of those.
Yeah. She gave it to you as like a piece of cardboard.
Yeah,
And then it got wet.
you get it wet and
it's
it's a wash
soggy.
rag, and then you just,
I used that the
when
other
you're
day.
done with it, you just throw it away.
Because, hey, I can't pat myself on the back right now because I got a sore neck, but I did the dishes. So, ouch. I tried patting myself
You
on
did?
the back. Yeah. I did
when exactly was this?
before you did the dishes. No, I put everything in the dishwasher and put everything away. And
You did?
I did. You did it a different time. Anyway, if you'd like to know more about this disgusting story, we have it at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Turns out Mom was right. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
We knew this.
If you skip that, it could kill you. Okay, well, maybe not that, but it could increase your risk of suffering heart attack, heart disease by 27%.
Holy cow.
So in a sense, it could kill you.
I should eat breakfast.
How many times do I make breakfast for you, and then you don't eat it, and then I have 2 breakfasts, and that's why I'm so heavy. So
Yeah, but I don't have time to eat breakfast. It has to be something I can take with me. It can't be... And you shouldn't be eating a whole huge breakfast of eggs and
Sometimes I make a
toast
way
and
too much
sausage
breakfast.
and...
Well, they say 27% is what it is. According to researchers at Harvard, 27% increased risk of heart disease by skipping
Yikes.
breakfast. Makes you hungrier. You're more likely to have sugary snacks when you actually get a break. Those type of eating habits can lead to weight gain, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and high cholesterol, all risk factors for cardiovascular disease. So, when you get the chance, have some doggone breakfast.
Healthy breakfast.
Good breakfast.
Like a granola bar or something healthy.
Pound of bacon.
No.
8 eggs and a pound of bacon.
Pretty sure that's not going to help with the whole cardiovascular disease.
They didn't say in the story, so let's just go with that.
John and Heidi.
Remember Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
I do.
And they would sing Whistle While You Work?
Yes.
I think now there should be a new one, Whistle While You Work Out. Because it says here, if you're about to hop on the treadmill, you should throw in some earbuds and crank up your favorite tunes, because if you are exercising while listening to music, it adds 19 minutes to the average workout. That's 58 minutes with music compared to 39 minutes without. So if you're jamming, to your favorite tunes and whistling while you work out, chances are you're going to work out longer. So that's cool.
I would agree with that.
You know what I like to do?
I like that better than watching TV.
Oh, when I'm on the treadmill, I like to get my heart rate up, so I just put on the news. I'm like, oh, this is making me mad. Change it. No, that's making me mad.
You don't last on the treadmill very long, though.
I do too.
No.
I walk on there for like 15 minutes or whatever.
If even. Like I've gone like 2 miles and I look over you and like, I'm done. And you've been watching the news for 10 minutes. You're like, okay, let's go lift some weights.
I think tomorrow I'm going to turn the treadmill on. Work my way up to stuff.
We're going to start working out again, though, and I'm
Yes,
going
we
to
are.
I'm going to make sure that you're busting your butt.
Well, I've got the best weight loss answer coming up next.
Nice.
Yeah, that's on the way.
John and Heidi.
We just wrapped up one of the most contentious elections in the history of our nation. Some are excited about the outcome, others not so excited. We want to remind you that we're still one nation, under God, indivisible. We've made it through many things, and we'll make it through this too. Let's do it together. At PoliticalStorm.com, we've been covering this election from both sides, and we want to thank the many contributors that have helped make that possible. We also invite you to become a contributor too with a free blog. Let's share all of the reasons to come together and unify as a nation. Share your voice at PoliticalStorm.com.
John and Heidi.
We've been talking about maybe eating healthier and, being healthier and all of that, because I'm like the heaviest I've ever been in my life right now.
Yeah, that's
I may be like 2 pounds lighter than the heaviest I've ever been, because I started thinking about, hey, we got to be careful. We read this thing not too long ago that said you should weigh yourself every day.
Yeah.
I noticed that's helped. So here it is, the answer for everybody. The best beverage for weight loss is water. Yeah. Drinking more water every day.
Is anybody surprised? Anybody like,
No.
really?
But you know what? It never hurts to hear it again. The best thing to do is drink water. Says it helps fight middle-age spread. Could even be more important than exercise and more important than dieting when it comes to lowering the numbers on the bathroom scale. This comes from the folks at Harvard University. Is today's program brought to you by Harvard? Haven't they done every study we've talked about today?
My question is, what is middle-age spread?
I think that's where you start gaining weight instead of like maintaining it. So
Sounds like some sort of a something for your toast.
it'd be really good, I think, on wheat toast. Have some of that middle-aged spread with jelly. So anyway, all I know is they say water, lots of water is what you're supposed to have. A 20-year study tracked the food and beverage habits of 125,000 adults in the U.S. in their 30s, 40s, and 50s. They replaced 1 soda a day with 1 glass of water a day. And the middle-aged adults in the study weighed about 7 pounds less than those who didn't drink as much water. And the more water they consumed instead of sodas, the better they did overall. So if you just replace water instead of drinking any sodas, that's even better. So.
Yeah. I like water, but I only
do
like
too.
it if it has ice in it.
Yeah.
And I don't have ice handy during the day,
I
so
like water as
I
well.
hardly ever drink water. I don't like warm water. I just don't like...
I like water, but I like it when it's got coffee and cream in it. Does that not count?
It's not the same thing, especially not the cream.
Okay.
I think with the coffee you'd be fine. It's the cream that hurts you.
Dang it. Coming up, we've got some good news. That's on the way.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
And we always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think we've got it, Heidi.
Okay.
Thought
Why do
left
you always
them.
pause there?
Because
What am I supposed to say?
there's some people who say,
All
I
right.
don't give you enough time to talk on this program. But that's why, folks. Those of you who think I don't let Heidi talk, it's because when I pause, there's this awkward...
I just don't know what I'm supposed to say right there. It's like, I've got some good news. Okay.
Here's a fun and easy trick.
What's that?
Here's a fun and easy trick to be the person that everybody likes. Do you want to
Okay.
be the one everybody likes?
I am the one everybody
I know
likes.
you're everybody's favorite. You know why? Because you're supposed to share a laugh. Huh.
See,
there it
I
is.
laugh all the time.
Whether you're meeting someone for the first time or if you want to strengthen an existing friendship that has maybe faltered, say something that will make you both laugh. That is the word from the researchers at George Mason University in Fairfax, Virginia. Hey, at least it wasn't Harvard this time. They analyzed more than 5,500 social interactions. They determined that sharing a laugh with somebody now is an excellent predictor of social rewards later, whether it be a friendship or a relationship between work colleagues. Reports from Prevention Magazine say that while using laughter as the foundation for a healthy relationship is old hat, what's new about it is the research that focuses on how today's laugh can impact something coming up in the future. So something a month from now. For example, share a laugh with a client today. You may have a better chance of closing a deal with that client next week or next month or next year. So if that was the case, I would be the top salesman in the world. I'm always making people laugh. Usually it's because I show up and say, hey, do you want to buy some ads? And I just laugh. You mean during the John and Heidi show? Yeah, I don't think so. I've heard that program. You going to read the ad, John? No, I'm really not interested. Not even close. So there you go. You'd think that would be good news. I do think it is good news.
I think it's good news.
And I shared it as my good news because I think today we should each try to make somebody laugh. Come up with one silly little thing you can say or do to make somebody laugh. And if you come up with a doozy, share it with us. And I'm going to have this story. It's already there at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Share with us your idea on how we can make people laugh today. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.